Welcome to Point Blank, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. I'm Brandon Stranger Sports. Matt Beast, and that guy right there is Joel Blake. You can catch him noon to 3 on the Killer Bees on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Hey, please hit like on this video so you can help us out. We appreciate the support. Hey, Joel, welcome in. Back in October, James Harden made headlines when he and the Nets couldn't come to an agreement on an extension, but Harden assured everybody that he was committed to Brooklyn. Fast forward to now in January, and we're hearing rumors about Harden. He's not exactly against relocation now. And one of those places that Harden is rumored to be open to is Philly. And before we get into, the draft pick implications, let's just talk right now about gamesmanship. Harden can opt in to another year with Brooklyn, but he could also walk as a free agent, in which case Brooklyn gets nothing for him. So Harden has all the leverage right now. Is he playing hardball with Brooklyn, or is he actually feeling froggy about going to Philly?
I think there's a lot that goes into this, Brandon, but I think that the biggest thing is that James is going to be James, and James is all about himself, and he realizes that he wants the best of both worlds. He doesn't want the pressure that he had when he was with the Rockets and he was the man, and he failed miserably in the playoffs when all the spotlights were on him. But he does like the attention and the being catered to of being the best player on the team, and he also is probably a little bit tired of dealing with from day to day if Kyrie's going to play or not and all the other drama that goes with the Nets, and it hasn't worked out the way he wanted it to when he wanted to be traded there. Now fast forward and realize that all the things that he loved the most when he was in Houston are sitting there with open arms waiting for him with the Bobbsey twins of Tad Brown and Daryl Morey in Philadelphia. The way they gave him the keys to the Toyota Center and he and his family and his best friends had free reign of anything and everything, they're going to do the exact same thing for him in Philly. And the bigger key is he doesn't have to have all that pressure come playoff time because that's going to be focused on Joel Embiid. He knows that Embiid will be there with him, and he knows that those two guys will do everything to surround him as opposed to what's going on in Brooklyn and everything being up in the air on a daily basis.
If you had to guess, would you have to say if he was playing hardball, is he trying to pressure them into giving him a really big extension, or is he trying to pressure them into maybe making a decision with Kyrie?
I think that's more the latter. I think he and KD are good, and they know that when they're on the team on the court at the same time, they're great. But they know that to win the championship, as they saw last year, they need that one other piece that is Kyrie. And if Kyrie's going to continue to take this hard stance on the vax, and he's only going to play a certain amount of games, they can't get continuity together. Now Kevin Durant's hurt. They haven't played that many games together as it is, and the clock is ticking on whether they can win a championship. So with all that being said, and his clock ticking about how he is in his career towards getting a championship and how much that means to him, I think he realizes at the end of the day that as much as the grass looked greener and the chances looked better when he left Houston to go to Brooklyn, he might have an even better opportunity to win with a big man that's dominant like Embiid and Philadelphia.
One of the reasons why the clock is ticking for Brooklyn is because they pushed their chips all in and sent a lot of picks to Houston to get Harden there. I want to talk about the implication of those picks, but before we do that, give us a word from Fitz Roofing.
Well, we love Fitz Roofing because if you need anything done with your house, particularly obviously your roof, but anything to do with home repairs, your house, a leaky roof, or a new roof on your business or your home, they'll take care of you every step of the way. Go to fitzroofing.com and see all the different ways they can help you. But then more so than anything else, they'll give you a free no obligation inspection just by calling them. 832-521-3001. They come to you. They tell you what they can do. It costs you absolutely nothing. If you want them to do the job, just book the appointment. They take care of you every step of the way. It's Fitz Roofing, making a difference, one home at a time.
All right, Brooklyn's at an important impasse here because Kyrie's a tremendous talent, but he is highly volatile and unpredictable. And if James leaves, whether it's, he walks or some sort of sign and trade, it's not unrealistic to think that Nets GM Sean Marks starts to look at the situation and goes, hey, we might want to move Durant to recoup some of those picks that we dealt away for Harden. So in that scenario, what does Houston's draft future look like if the Nets really do hit the reset button in Brooklyn?
I mean, that's their only hope, Brandon, and I don't think it's going to get to that level. I think when you have three guys that are at the level of those three guys, even having one of them is all you need, and especially in the case of Kevin Durant, if the other two guys would go somewhere else, there would be guys lining up to play with Kevin Durant because he's still one of the top three players in this league. Harden, you could say the same. He stepped away from being the guy that has to be dominant with the ball in his hands to become more of a facilitator. But if asked to, he can score and still do a lot right too. I think Kyrie's the wild card, but I think that Sean Marks realizes, look, the Knicks are right there, as our neighbor, doing things that get New York excited on a daily basis. We're already not the most popular basketball team in the city. So in order to stay relevant, we've got to stay good. I think that the Harden trade, no matter how much Rockets fans are crossing their fingers and hoping, turns out to be a windfall for the Rockets. At best, I don't think those picks are going to get out of the 20s. I think that you have to realize that you just have to move on, turn the page, but build with your youngsters and the roster that you have. Hope you get another top 3 pick this year, and then start looking at what you can do free agency and otherwise, because after this season, the draft picks really aren't going to be anything that's going to be impactful for your squad.